Welcome back on board the MSC Grandiosa inside the Yacht Club. I'm Morgan from the very unofficial travel guides, and I just want to remind you again that most of my videos are not like this. This is a podcast style video, something new I'm trying, something that I just recently discovered the value of listening to some of my favorite creators and not having to watch what they're doing. I enjoy listening while I'm getting ready in the morning, while I'm laying in bed at night. I don't have a car, but if I was driving in a car, things like that. And I decided it's time to try it out too. So most of my videos are very visual. This is not one of them. This is me talking. So just to let you know, so you know what to expect. We have been on board the Grandiosa now for a couple days. It's actually, I think, our third entire day on board. We are in the city of Palermo at the moment. We will not be leaving the ship, and in fact, we're not going to be leaving the ship at all during this cruise. It is possible. The only way is with a ship-sponsored excursion, and we had booked one excursion which was supposed to be happening tomorrow on Malta, and that got canceled. And we looked through all the other excursions and decided that we weren't going to be doing any for two reasons. One of them is because all of these ports are places that we've been to before, and most of the excursions are some kind of sightseeing excursions, and we have done at least 2 sightseeing excursions in each of these ports before. And in addition to that, they're kind of expensive. There was only one that, after the one we had planned got canceled, that we both thought sounded interesting, and it was like kind of like an afternoon cruise with a stop to go swimming, and it cost 179 euros per person. And so, yeah, we decided we will not be leaving the ship. We are just going to be enjoying the fantastic service and the exclusive amenities here in the Yacht Club. So, speaking of Yacht Club, that is what I want to tell you about in this video, or in this podcast, whatever you want to call it, in this recording. Because I think many of you probably have never been inside the Yacht Club, and I want to describe to you what it is, like what it physically is, what is here, where it is, kind of what it looks like, so you know what to expect if you plan on cruising in the Yacht Club on the Grandiosa. And I'm assuming that on the Meraviglia, which is kind of a sister ship to this ship, that it's very similar. So the very first time I was ever exposed to a concept like this, of a ship within a ship, which is what the Yacht Club is, it was on our first and very only transatlantic cruise, which we did on the Norwegian Epic from Miami to Barcelona, probably about 7 years ago now, 8 years ago maybe. And the Norwegian Epic, and most Norwegian ships, in fact, I want to say all Norwegian ships, also have an exclusive area called the Haven. And that was the first time that I realized, okay, there is like a higher, or a very high category of cabin, or area of the ship that one can book. And I thought back then, and it is definitely outside of my price range. I will never be staying in a place like that on a ship. Lo and behold, a cruise line called MSC comes along, and here I am in the MSC Yacht Club, and it is like the Haven. I would assume, like I said, I've never stayed in the Haven, but it is a ship within a ship, meaning that only people who are staying in this category of cabin are allowed inside this area of the ship. And the main entrance to the Yacht Club is on deck 16, which is also where our cabin is. So if you were going to be on the Grandiosa and you were at the normal main pool area, which is a really fantastic, very long pool in the middle of the ship. And if you walked towards the front of the ship, the next place you would come to would be the indoor-outdoor pool area. I say indoor-outdoor because it has a retractable roof. And if you walk further towards the front of the ship on deck 16, so out of that indoor-outdoor pool area, which I want to say is called the Jungle Club. I don't know right now. But if you walk through that towards the front of the ship, the next place you get to then is the entrance to the Yacht Club. And it doesn't look like, there aren't like golden gates and, some velvet rope or anything like that. The entrance is actually kind of subtle, and the way that you can get inside is by scanning your key card or one of the bracelets that we are wearing at the moment. So scan your bracelet, come inside, and everything then from that point to the front of the ship and above you is all Yacht Club. And at that point on deck 16, then what you enter is basically, I want to say, like the lobby area of the Yacht Club. So on the left side, there is a small lobby counter with 3 like computer terminals for people to stand. And I'm pretty sure that somebody is standing there 24 hours a day. And it's like the main concierge or some of his or her assistants. And they are greeting everybody, asking everybody, about their day. And anything that you would go to the front desk for, they can take care of for you. So they scanned our credit cards so we could put, credit on our account. And if we wanted to reserve a showtime, a restaurant, like a specialty restaurant, they would do that for us. So there's basically no reason to leave the Yacht Club. That's what we were told when we checked into the Yacht Club. And yeah, I mean, don't need to, but I don't necessarily agree with that statement. And this isn't like a much bigger area. The lobby, the front desk, the guest relations of the normal part of the ship is a large area. This is not a large area. It's basically just like sort of an indentation in the hallway. And in this area as well, so if we're facing the front of the ship again, and say this small counter space is on the left side of you where, the front desk of the Yacht Club, then the next thing between you and the front of the ship is a large sort of open spiral-formed staircase, and it has the famous trademark Swarovski, did I say that right? Swarovski crystals in it. So it's very sparkly. And yeah, many areas on the MSC Grandiosa are exactly that, sparkly. So this staircase goes up 1, 2, 3 flights, and I think it goes down 2 flights. Below deck 16 in the Yacht Club, as far as I could see, all that are there are cabins. But on this floor and on the floors above, so it's actually 16, 18, and 19, there is no deck 17. I don't know why. If you know why, let me know in the comments. I think that 17 is possibly an unlucky number in Italian culture. Is that why there's no deck 17? I don't know. But so on deck 16, the entrance to the Yacht Club, the front desk niche, the spiral staircase, and then in front of the spiral staircase is the entrance then to the MSC Lounge, or to the Yacht Club Lounge. So this is basically like the bar area for Yacht Club passengers only. And there is a somewhat longer passageway into the lounge, and on the right side of it is a small, what would you call that? Like a buffet vitrine, like a counter with snacks on display. And these snacks change throughout the day. They change at least once, if not twice. And they're little things, like mini sandwiches or mini desserts, little cakes. What else did we have? Mini pizzas. It's finger food. So basically, at any time during the day, if you want to go have a drink in this lounge, you can also have a snack. And on the other side, so if we're facing the front of the ship, snacks are on the right side, and on the left side is then the bar. And the bar curves around into then the open lounge space. And what this lounge space is then is the entire front of the ship. So basically, from left to right, it's just one great big, open panoramic window looking out over the front of the ship. And behind the bar area, so further to the left side, there's a small stage with a piano on it, and there's somebody tinkling the ivories in the evening hours. And then to the right side, it's more seating. So there's seating all the way across. And there is also another sparkly staircase that goes up from there to the Yacht Club restaurant. But you can also reach that by going up the other spirally staircase back by the lobby area. And we have had quite a few drinks already in the Yacht Club lounge. It's become sort of our habit that before dinner we go there and try one of the very large list of wines and have some finger food, some hors d'oeuvres before dinner. So we've been doing that. And I've mentioned it, I think, in the last podcast, in my first impressions. So if you want to hear that, you know where to find it. But the service is mostly exceptional. And there are things that have been offered and now done for us that I have never experienced on another ship. Things that I would never expect, and things that, frankly, I have to say, seem a little bit extreme to me, a little bit overboard. For instance, last night, there was a big pool party on deck. Started at 9:30 in the evening, and it was still 85 degrees outside, so I want to say like 30 degrees, 31 degrees centigrade, and that's neither hin nor hair. Anyways, we went down there, listened to the live music, we got a drink, I think, up here in the Yacht Club that we snuck out, I want to say, down to the main pool. And then when we were sitting there, we ordered another drink. And then I think Marcus decided he was going to go to bed, but I was just really feeling like dancing. So I went onto the dance floor. Yes, there was dancing. It's with a mask on and with social distancing, but the pool deck is very large, very vast, so that was no problem. And I was dancing up a storm. I had a great time, even though Marcus wasn't there dancing with me, which is no problem at all. And eventually I realized, you know what, I really want another drink. And I saw that there was quite a line at the normal bar. So I walked through the pool, or through the indoor pool, and directly into the Yacht Club, just to have them make me a drink there. And the bartender basically, in a very polite sort of, I don't know, I want to say cute way, he refused to let me walk back to the pool carrying my own drink. He insisted that he put it on a tray and walk behind me back to the pool with my drink. And that's one of those things that I feel like, who wants that? Who expects that? You know what I mean? I would never, it would never occur to me to request anybody to do that for me. Never. But I guess that's what they're used to doing. And I don't know, here's something that happens in my head when stuff like that has been happening, or, when it happens, I guess, on other ships, like some of these sort of extremely apparent extra service things. I immediately think, okay, this is somebody who's just trying to get a really big tip. And I think that's probably wrong, right? I mean, is this, I don't know what, it just seems apparent to me that somebody who's willing to do that is hoping there's going to be a payoff at the end. Is that wrong of me to think that? Or let me ask you this. Would you feel the same way? I mean, why on earth would anybody need a person to carry a drink for them, I want to say, like 200 meters, probably not even 200 meters, out of the Yacht Club and to the pool deck? I just don't understand why they do that, why they offer that. It doesn't make me feel, I don't know, I guess exclusive? I don't know. So I'm sorry, I kind of got off on a tangent there, but it's just something that popped up in my head that I thought would be interesting for you to know. I want to tell you more about what is on then the upper 2 levels of the Yacht Club, and I'm going to do that right after this commercial break. Did you get one? What was it about? Write it in the comments below. It'll be interesting to see how these videos perform, if people like listening to them, and if ads are put on them. Always interesting for me to know. So I have described to you the main lobby area and the lounge with the snack bar, I guess you could call it, and the bar and the piano area. And one level above that are more Yacht Club cabins. Our cabin, or suite, I guess as they call it, is on deck 16. So up on what would be deck 17, but it's called deck 18 because there is no 17, is the Yacht Club restaurant. And this also has panoramic views, so basically from left to right across the whole front of the ship, just as wide as the lounge downstairs from it. And there are 2 ways to get in there. One is the entrance going up that spiral sparkly staircase by the lobby. And then there's also another staircase that goes up from the front of the lounge area. So like basically right at the pointy part of the front of the ship. I guess that's called the bow. For somebody who's studying to get my ocean-going vessel license, I think I probably should use the proper terminology, right? So the Yacht Club Lounge, or the Yacht Club Restaurant, is also a quite fancy atmosphere. Altogether, the lounge and the restaurant are in somewhat dark colors. I want to say it's kind of a dullish gray and then silver, so a lot of shininess. And then there are only 2 actual colors I can think of. One is a very dark burgundy, so like a Merlot, I guess you would call it, or a Cabernet color, and then sort of a dark green. And actually, now that I'm sitting here in my cabin looking around, those are pretty much the colors in the cabin too. There's a lot of a very dark army green. Not sure about that, but just to give you an idea of the colors and the way it looks. The tables, there are, I think, only maybe 2 very large tables for like larger groups of 8 or 10 people. And otherwise, most of the tables are 2 tops or 4 tops. There are no booths, but the tables are spaced further apart, I'm assuming because of COVID times. But I don't know if during the normal times there's more tables in there or not. But it does feel like an exclusive atmosphere. And like I said, you have this amazing view out over the front of the ship. The chairs are very robust and very soft and cushy. So they're like upholstered chairs. They're not hard chairs. And the food in there has been pretty excellent. But one thing, just to mention this in between on our way through the Yacht Club, one thing I was a little bit surprised about is I was under the assumption that the food that is served in the Yacht Club restaurant is like exclusive to the Yacht Club, like can't get this kind of food anywhere else on the ship. And I was wrong, because thanks to the MSC For Me app, you can look at the menus of all the main dining rooms, and I've noticed that there have been similar things. Well, not even similar things. There have been the same things with exactly the same name listed in the Yacht Club restaurant as well as down in the main dining room. So there are things that aren't being served in the main dining room, but there also are things that are. So if it's really important to you to stay in the Yacht Club because you want to be offered things that nobody else on the ship is eating, then sorry, you're going to have to take that one off your list, because that's not the way it is. All right, moving up one more deck to the top of the Yacht Club, and then we come to the outdoor sun area. And this is, I guess my first impression was that it's kind of small, but when you take in how much it is like on the sides as well, then it's quite big. It's quite adequate, and we have never had a problem getting space up there. But I know that this area of the ship is not booked full, and we can see that by just the number of empty chairs in the restaurant during the evening. Although it does feel a little bit fuller now. We were in Naples yesterday. Thank goodness I survived that, and it feels like a lot of people boarded the ship yesterday, including some more Yacht Club passengers. So when you come out, if you've gone up the spiral staircase, you know, the 3 floors from the lobby area, walk out to the front of the ship, then to the left side is the pool bar area, and there are some lower, like coffee table seating possibilities there, as well as some higher sort of bar style stool areas and higher bar tissues. But these are of a nice quality, and that's where the bar is. And then wrapping around the left side of the ship, which is also known as the starboard side of the ship, Morgan Maritime License, there is gosh, I hope I got that right. Now I'm wondering, I'm doubting myself. There is also a buffet area. So for lunch, well, for breakfast and lunch and around dinner time, there is a small buffet there with made to order like steaks and burgers, also pasta, salad bar, and then grilled veggies and fries and things like that. And then there's also a seating area there with like dining tables, but fitting to a pool atmosphere. If we go back to the middle, so we're like looking out over the front of the ship, then to the right side is the wet area, and that includes a pool, which is about, I want to say, probably about it's over 4 feet deep, and it's a little bit smaller than, if you've been on one of the bigger NCL ships like the Epic or the Getaway or something, it's a little bit smaller than the main pool on the NCL bigger ships. But I want to say it's probably about the size of the outdoor pool. The pool itself, the water itself, is bigger than on the Aida Perla, which is the last ship I was on. So it's definitely adequate, I think, for the number of passengers in this area. It also has a hot tub on like a sort of a raised area next to the pool. There is a big octopus piece of art, like a big octopus sculpture right at the front of that pool area where there are fresh towels. And then on the wall behind the pool, there's a flat octopus sculpture, so that's kind of the theme, I guess. And then wrapping around the right side of the ship, which is also known as the port side of the ship. Gosh, I hope I'm getting this right. There's more lounging areas. So these lounge chairs are not the same loungers as down on the normal pool deck. They are very swanky, very soft. They're like beds, basically. And I have to say, one thing that I wish they could do that they don't is you cannot put the back part of it at a almost vertical angle. Like the highest angle is about 45 degrees. So if you really want to sit up and read a book, then you have to sit up with no back support. You know what I mean? This is not something I'm complaining about, by the way. But it's just something I've noticed I wish they could do. And I think that the normal deck chairs down at the normal pool area, I'm pretty used to those having like a setting that's almost straight up and down. And that's how I usually have my deck chair. The towels, by the way, are very high quality. They're very thick. They're like blankets. They're huge. There's like, once you've dried yourself off with one of these towels, there's quite a bit of weight to it. So definitely a higher quality towel than down at the main pool deck. And yeah, wrapping around the right side then, there's more places to lay. There's also some outdoor like massage pods. So if you wanted to get a massage under the open air. You could do that there. There's bathrooms on that side. And then on both sides, the right and the left side, there is like a buzz-through door where you either scan your bracelet or press the button, and you can open it and then go down to the main area, or you can come back up into the Yacht Club from there. And that is what the Yacht Club looks like. And geez, I didn't realize it was going to take me this long to talk about it, but me and my tangents. And yeah, I hope this kind of gave you an idea of what to expect, what actually is inside the Yacht Club. And as I mentioned a little bit in the last podcast, the last video, I realized very quickly that what many people told me before we began this journey is true, and that is staying in the Yacht Club is not just about the cabin. It's about all the other stuff too, and perhaps even more about the other stuff. And in the next video, or the next recording of this series, I want to talk a little bit more about what it is, that we've been experiencing. And I have a really, it's important to me, a really interesting question to pose, and that is about the tipping in this kind of situation, and if it should be more or less, and then why or why not. And Marcus and I have talked about it a few times, and we both have an opinion about it, and I want to talk to you about it next time, and I'm really interested in hearing or reading what you have to say about it too. So make sure to subscribe if you haven't done it yet, and I'm sure I will be uploading these on some kind of podcast platform. I haven't figured that out quite yet, so if you are downloading these from a podcast platform, wherever I may end up putting these, if there's some way to subscribe to that too, go ahead and do it. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and don't bother following me on Twitter. I never post anything there anymore. I do also have my relatively new travel TikTok, which is very unofficial travel on TikTok. And if you want to give me a little bit of extra support and get some things that nobody else gets to see, then check out patreon.com/veryunofficial. I hope to talk at you soon. Bye-bye.